Bandido. So this is the build that I'm using in the gameplay footage that you're about to see to take out the manhunt target Chirpy. Now I actually saved the actual boss for later, but I take everybody else out, all the other control points and the other random bounties and tasks using this build, and it made it really easy. As you guys know, manhunt areas are a little bit elevated, a little bit more difficult, and this just makes it really easy and also really fun. I really enjoy the headhunter builds in this game, and the gameplay footage will show you why. And this one is really powerful. It'll actually make any content in this game relatively easy. But of course, you got to get good at your headshots, and that takes nothing but practice. And this is really a great build to get started with today, and use your sniper of choice. Now for me, I'm using the Nemesis. It's just really fun for me to use, and it allows you to basically take out any elite with the single shot for the most part. But once you get your headhunter stacks, it doesn't really matter. Any of the snipers are basically the same. But I like the Nemesis, one, for the additional challenges. It is a little bit more challenging to use because you have to kind of load up on your damage. But also, when you miss or you duff a shot and you lose your headhunter buff, the Nemesis allows you to pick that back up again, even off of elite. When you're playing control points, you get nothing but elites. So when you duff your shot, it's nice to be able to pick up your Nemesis stacks without having to try to find a non-elite or put out a couple extra shots. But if you decide you want to put out an extra shot or two, not a big deal. Just use the Mantis. Once you get your first kill, you're going to be chain killing everything with a single shot anyway. So it's all the same. The other good combo to go with, again, if you decide to use the Mantis or the White Death as your primary, is to use your TAC 50 to help with your headhunter stack. And so as my secondary weapon, I'm actually using the White Death. I have the wrong scope here. I actually run it with this weapon handling scope. You can run it with the digital scope. It's actually very powerful, but I use this as a no scope White Death, and that makes it even more powerful for me. So when I'm kind of just wanting to get out of the scope for a while and start running the White Death, this allows me sort of to kind of shoot and scoot, kind of like a run and gun sort of style. It's not a pure run and gun style, but it's sort of like that. You do have to take quick pauses to snap that headshot, but really exciting and exhilarating way to play the Division 2. If you haven't done a no scope White Death build yet, then I definitely recommend you try it, and this is a great one to start with. And so I run it with preservation, so that gives me 20% armor on kill, refreshing with every headshot kill, and we're chain killing, so that's all the time, right? So yeah, very powerful. It's got all the power you need. 1.1 million base damage. Whoop whoop. Anyways, the pistol is the D50, same thing, preservation. So 3-piece aces is my setup. Now this is a new build. It doesn't look new, but if you're familiar with my go-to sniper build, this is different. With my go-to sniper build, usually run the Sawyer's knee pads, but now with the Picaro's holster, I'm able to get out of that. Now it's a little bit weaker, just a tad bit, and that's because I'm forced to use this blue core. But I think once we're able to re-roll this into a red core, it'll match the Sawyer's knee pads with damage and give you more flexibility. Now the Sawyer's knee pads are still great, but they do pin you down to a single location, and I like to move around a lot. So, you know, there you go. Let's take a quick look. So I use 3 pieces of aces. There's many other ways to create these, but this is just an easy way to go. And so this gives you 15% marksman rifle damage, 30% headshot damage, very helpful, and weapon damage and headshot damage. And then I have repair skills. That's an option. It just kind of helps when I am pinned down a little bit. And so it's passive healing. I'm using the fixer drone, so it's just kind of nice. We're at 300% headshot damage. I don't really need any more headshot damage. You're one-shotting elites with the Nemesis, so what are you gonna do? Okay, the gloves are weapon damage and headshot damage, as you would expect. The knees are weapon damage and headshot damage. And then the holsters, the Picaros, I got headshot damage and weapon damage. And of course the armor core, it's nice to have. Skill haste, we're not really using that, but it's a little helpful. The chest is really important. You need chain killer. So we got weapon handling, headshot damage here, and then perfect headhunter. That's what's giving us our one-shot kill capability and allowing us to maintain it. And then the backpack is the Zeraldi. That's giving us more marksman rifle damage. Weapon damage is most important on these headshot builds. So weapon damage and then headshot damage for me in that order. And then weapon handling. I like having a little bit of weapon handling in this build. Anyways, I'm running the vigilance talent on the backpack for that extra weapon damage. And I don't really care if it goes down. You don't care if it goes down. Why? Because once you get headhunter proc, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore. Headshot damage, vigilance, red cores, nothing matters anymore because headhunter takes over. You're one-shotting everything from there anyways. So the Memento is a really good option, especially if you're playing fast, because it's going to give you 30% weapon damage. Now, it's not total weapon damage such as this. So total weapon damage is more than weapon damage, but it is 30% versus 25. So, you know, makes up a little bit of that gap, but also can't be taken away from you. That's pretty important. And I never die. So if you never die in heroic with a sniper build, it is, and I'll just be honest with you, it's hard to die in heroic with a sniper build, with the headhunter builds. It's really difficult to die. So you're going to have 100% uptime on your trophies. That's 30% weapon damage all the time. all the time. So there's a really good reason to run a Memento in heroic content for that 30% weapon damage that when you get shot, it doesn't get taken away. But like I said, Headhunter takes over and you're not really worried about that extra damage anyways. You don't need it anymore. But what you do need is some nice little regen and an extra skill tier for your fixer, plus 30% skill efficiency and bonus armor, which allows you to move around a lot and switch over to your White Death or your pistol. So there's so many benefits for running a Memento. But to keep it simple and straightforward, I'm just running the Heroldi. It's my go-to. It makes it a little bit more flexible of a build. So if I do decide to jump into heroic, or for whatever reason, if I'm fast traveling to a lot of safe houses, which makes you reset your mementos, then this is a little bit more flexible. So anyways, go with what you want, but the Memento is a really nice way to go. But this is my standard setup for my sniper builds. But I will be honest with you, the Memento is now making its way into all my headshot builds, even if I'm playing from cover, even if I'm playing relaxed, even if I'm playing legendary. The skill tier, the weapon damage that cannot be taken away from you. Try to argue that one. You know what I mean? So anyways, so I do want to say that here actually as an option. So if you're not really great at landing your headshots and you feel like you need a little bit of weapon handling, then go for it. You got a lot of room. So notice we got one weapon handling stat here and one weapon handling stat there. And so instead of running the repair skills, which is, you don't really need to do that, just put on a headshot damage mod there and then swap that headshot damage attribute into more weapon handling. Add all the weapon handling you need. As a matter of fact, you could probably put it on every piece and you won't miss out on any damage because we're at 300% headshot damage. And if you need to use attack 50, you know, that's going to be even better. Look at 330% headshot damage with attack 50. And attack 50's got basically, I got mine set up at 2.6 million with an expertise of 10. So, you know, that's a lot of damage. What can I say? Anyways, I'm running the decoy, very helpful. Decoys are really strong. The decoys allow you to keep your head out of cover and you can just pick everybody else off as they're all shooting at your decoy. It gets the enemies out of cover too, right? So the enemies stay out of cover so that they can shoot out the decoy longer and you're out of cover longer because they're not shooting at you. And so you just start picking them all off and they're sort of like not aware until that decoy goes down. They're like, oh wait, where'd everybody go? Oh, they're all dead except for me. And then boop, bullet in his head. Now he's dead. Anyways, I got a fixer drone, 25,000 heals per second. I really like this. It's just passive healing. It's nice to always have it going. Really cool build. Just a quick look at the stats. Again, 300% headshot damage, 31% accuracy, 46 stability, 21% weapon handling. Nothing really to look at on the defense side. We don't really have any armor regen or armor on kill showing here. But remember, we got 20% armor on kill happening with the White Death, and I'm toggling to the White Death enough. But it's rare I need to use an armor kit, so you take damage, not a problem. But you know, you're playing from cover, and so even at 25,000 heals per second, it's fine. It's fine. This is more flexible than running the Sawyer's knee pads, almost as powerful. And again, once we can change that Picaro holster, I think it'll be just as powerful. So with this, you should be hitting over 52 million, up to 64 million, give or take. What's more importantly is actually that first kill. So those big damage numbers, they're nice, they're exciting, but you know, there's no enemy that can really take that much damage. So as long as you're hitting over 25 million, you're good. You're good. So with most sniper kills, you do want to look at that end base damage. As long as you're clearing 25, you're fine. And the other thing you want to look at is how much damage is that first headshot. And you want it to be at no less than 9 million. The reality is somewhere between 9.5 and 10.5 million is where you want that first headshot to be at. And that's because a lot of elites are in that range. Now there's some that are tankier, especially if they're wearing a helmet, but for the most part, you know, about 9.5 million will take out an elite on heroic. What's also cool about these builds, if you decide to run all directives, go for it. I didn't turn on any directives for this manhunt, mostly because I forgot. With this build, you can kick off the fight with your pistol. You don't need your skills. So the skill cooldown thing is not really a big deal. Special ammo is a little bit annoying, but you're shooting everybody with one shot, so that's not really much of a big deal. And you don't need much ammo because it's one shot, one kill. So it's just really run all directives if you feel like it. I think this is a good way to do that, get that extra XP while you're at it. Anyways, have fun. You're going to love this build. Check out the gameplay.
I want to go fast.
That sounds like you, then this is your build. I made it in the lab, live on Twitch in unedited gameplay, where I make all my builds. Follow me over there for more Division 2 fun. Shout out to all the members of Tux's Players Club. I'm really honored to have your support and can't imagine a better way to say thank you than providing you with more of what you love. This playlist on my YouTube homepage hosts your bonus content, extra builds, gamer music playlists, and more. Not a member yet? It's time you join a strong, positive community. Links here and in the area below. Hey, I wanted to ask you, have you joined my Discord yet? If not, you really should. This is not a raid-only Discord, nor is it a clan-only Discord. This is a central hub for the community and a great way to augment your Division 2 experience in a non-elitist, inclusive, and toxic-free environment. It's really unlike any other Division 2 Discord out there, especially if you're into builds. There are channels dedicated to build talks, grouping up, raids, and more for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. It's absolutely free. There's no downside, so come hang out. This is the spot.
still active. all day.
Bandidos, I created this unlimited explosive skill build that gets you out of cover, which is really unique, and I use Brazos to do it. Check it out.
Follow me.